Alright, Hand Bruiser, we both died together. We should be able to take these two guys out. We will be able to get back into the Warzone. Who are you?
Well, I don't play this much. I bought all this awesome gear, though. You ready?
I'm
a casual.
Who the hell decided to make the gulag like this? Though I had high hopes for this year's Call of Duty installment from Infinity Ward, and I have to say Modern Warfare 2 is fun in some aspects like the campaign, but in other areas it lacks the fundamentals of what used to make a good Call of Duty experience, in my opinion. Now I have to say I really enjoyed Modern Warfare 2019 and everything they had to offer, other than maybe a few maps on 6v6 and some weapons. Though I expected Infinity Ward would have listened to the community and would have made Modern Warfare 2 the best Call of Duty game in the new era. But no, we just get more unnecessary changes and a bug-riddled game. But I'll touch more on that a little later. So let's talk some positives within Modern Warfare 2. Starting off, that would be the campaign, which was super fun, visually stunning, and the motion capture was fantastic.
Hook, line, and fucking sinker, that's what I'm talking about, Shadows! You know I love that shit!
The campaign left off from the previous story from Modern Warfare 2019. And Task Force 141 has a mission to find and capture the new antagonist, Hassan. But things go sideways and they find themselves in a new fight. The whole story was entertaining and somewhat familiar if you ever played Modern Warfare 2 back in the 2000s. But one of the big differences within the new game is you see a lot of Ghost and Soap, and the other casts like Price and Gaz take a back seat in the campaign. And I was okay with this. Yeah, I wish Price was more involved, but it was really nice to see and play as Ghost and Soap, who wasn't previously in Modern Warfare 2019's campaign. So the gameplay within the campaign was your typical Call of Duty style. You deploy in, fight a bunch of bad guys, narratively pushes you forward through these missions and cool little areas. You get a bunch of elements in between, where one instance you were in a shot down helicopter and enemies trying to swarm around you and you have to hold them off for a period of time. One mission I felt like I was playing Just Cause because you had to jump from vehicle to vehicle and it had me really engaged. Another mission that felt different from a typical Call of Duty campaign was where you had to sneak around the mansion, and it felt very Hitman-like. So the campaign took me by surprise how good and somewhat different it was from previous installments. Some of my negatives towards the campaign, for one, would have to be they didn't have multiple endings or choices to change the outcome of your story. Also would have helped with replayability. Some of the minor gripes I've also had within the campaign would be some underwhelming conclusions to characters within the campaign, and the ending was just lackluster. So let's move on to multiplayer. Right from the start, I'm going to say we did not receive a single OG Modern Warfare 2 map at release, and that is super disappointing. I believe the game was supposed to ship with 11 maps, but unfortunately, we only had 9 because of copyright issues. The one map was Crown Raceway, which slowly slipped into the map pool, but we still haven't seen the return of Museum from the beta. But on the positive side, we do have a brand new gunsmith and a ton of guns. But if only there was a more direct way to play with the guns you want. Oh, cool, this is the gunsmith? Wow, there's an AK, an M4, a gold, Desert Eagle. That's pretty cool. I think we'll start off with the AK.
Oh, no.
Wait, why?
Give that back. You gotta start with this.
Why?
And once you're done upgrading that, we'll give you this.
But
Once you're done upgrading that, you can unlock the gold skin for it.
but I just want to play with the AK.
Oh, not yet. Then you gotta upgrade this to 50 cal. Once you're done with all that,
then
you meet the minimum requirements, we'll let you use this.
But why?
You have to. You gotta use that.
But it's a toy gun.
Oh, you'll be alright.
How's the TTK in this game?
Yeah.
Dead silence?
Oh, we changed it. Now it's like a button.
What?
It only lasts like a minute.
It's not even a perk?
No perks.
This game sucks!
Team deathmatch.
It's a toy gun! Don't get me wrong, I really like that we have a lot of guns and attachments with this year's Call of Duty, but it feels like a puzzle, just trying to figure out the one gun that you want to play with and level up. I feel like at times I had to go through a maze of guns that I'd even want to play with the one that I wanted to play with. It would have probably been best to just be able to level up and unlock each weapon that way to make it less confusing. Or maybe have it where if you want to play with an assault weapon, you unlock all those weapons within the assault tree by playing with the assault weapons. Or if you're a sniper, you unlock all of the snipers by using the snipers. You get the picture. It got really confusing and it felt like it was just a huge puzzle and a maze to get to the weapons that you wanted to play with. So after figuring out the gunsmith, you can finally try and enjoy the 6v6 experience until you realize that skill-based matchmaking plagues the lobbies. It does seem like it's a little less impactful in solo queuing, but if you're in a party with friends, forget it. Also, Infinity Ward changed so many things within the 6v6. No red dots on the mini-map, when you fire weapons, like what? Why? My favorite mode was Search and Destroy, and what made that mode great was the Dead Silence perk. But guess what? They never brought Dead Silence back to being a perk. Instead, now they have a long animation to click it like it's a button to turn it on, and it also makes a loud annoying sounds to let the enemy know that you turned on Dead Silence. So there's no classic maps for Modern Warfare 2 at release. Skill-based matchmaking is still a thing. Dead Silence isn't even a perk or silent even anymore, and they want to cater to the players that aren't really going to stick around for long. Screw the loyal hardcore fan base. Shame on you, Activision and Infinity Ward. Shame on you. To me, when it comes to 6v6, it's just insanely different from back in the day. And it's just not as fun anymore. Everyone that I know that played the 6v6 was to just level up their guns to play Warzone. I know this is a new Call of Duty style and it has a following, and hey, if you enjoy it, I'm happy for you. But in my opinion, things need to go back to the days when Call of Duty had skill gaps because people played longer and learned the game and they were rewarded for it. It shouldn't be the experienced player's fault that they knew to use Dead Silence within Search and Destroy, or they built muscle memory to check the map for players' locations when they shot their guns. It's a shame where 6v6 is fundamentally right now in Call of Duty. I didn't really play much of Ground War and Invasion, but from what I did play, Invasion was literally everyone trying to spawn camp the bots for experience and to level up their guns, but it was a great way to have fun with snipers. In Ground War, it's actually a good alternative to the disappointing Battlefield. It has tanks, helicopters, and you and your squad can ride in this helicopter and snipe down on enemies as you hover up in the air. It's actually pretty cool and fun. But after a while, all these modes, at least for me, just got boring and stale. But that could be because my older self getting burnt out with the franchise and wanting to just look forward to something new other than arena shooters like Warzone 2 and DMZ. I couldn't wait for Warzone 2 and DMZ mode to come out. I was super excited for both modes having new experiences, and I have to say Warzone 2, the map Al Mazrah, is a beautiful sandbox world that has you wanting to explore the wonders of each unique location. And when you bump into the nostalgic locations like High Rise and Terminal and much more, I remember getting super excited. But beyond that, is Warzone 2 better than the original Warzone? And I would have to say yes and no, unfortunately. For one, I feel like the map is so much better than the original maps that we ever got in Warzone 1. But I feel like they changed too much. The looting is horrible. It's nearly impossible to pick up what you want off the ground because it's a cluttery mess. How do I steal this backpack? It's a bigger backpack. How do you get it?
I'm trying to get bullets, dude. I can't get any bullets, so...
You want to open someone's backpack? Nope. You want that cool sniper on the ground? Nope. And next thing you know, you die because you're taking too long fighting with the mechanic of the game just to get what you want on the ground. The TTK, the time to kill, is insanely inconsistent. One moment you kill someone with ease, the next it feels like you're putting a whole clip into someone. They just turn around and one-shot you. I got this casual sniper here. What's going on with the TTK? Oh!
And I bought all this cool gear.
Sometimes it could be because of the new armor mechanic, which makes sense, but other times I have to say it's a pretty even fight with both people having blue armor. Also, Warzone 2 has to have one of the most horrible audio designs that I've played in a video game because people can sprint, drop, climb, zip up without me hearing anything until it's too late. I swear I'm standing like 2 to 5 feet away from these things too when it happens.
I'm down.
But if you can push through the time to kill inconsistencies, the horrible looting mechanics, and the bad audio design, and all the crashes the game has you endure. Ah, shit. Warzone can be pretty fun. When you're on a roll, it feels super satisfying and fun, like a typical battle royale that's on the market to date. Warzone 2 is played a little bit slower than the previous installments, but doesn't take away from the high pulse rate action-packed rush when you get into the final circle and you fight your way to a victory. What now? Freaking yeah, dude! So let us talk about the counterpart of Warzone 2, and that's the brand new game mode DMZ, Deployment Zone. I was super excited to try this mode. I have never played any sort of extraction shooter before, so I had no idea what I was going to experience and dive into. But I have to say, DMZ is super fun for what it is. You spawn in at a random part of Al Mazrah and you fight veteran difficulty bots. You run around the world picking up contracts and do missions to collect cash. And then you have strongholds you can tackle to get even better weapons and loot with even harder bots. Then the objective of the game is to get out with everything you've accomplished during your 25 to 30 minute run alive. To me, this mode was a fun party mode with friends. It almost feels like GTA, but not as fleshed out. At times, it can also get stressful because you work so hard for everything. You're just so worried about dying, and if you do, you just end up losing everything, which sucks. But that's the name of the game within DMZ. Also, before I give out my score, you have to put into account that all the different game modes we are getting within this year's of Call of Duty, it is the most content we're getting in a Call of Duty game, I believe, ever. So that automatically gets a bonus point for my score. When you spend $70, you're technically getting 3 standalone games in the value of 1. That's fantastic. So, I would have to give Modern Warfare 2, the full release with Warzone 2 and DMZ, a 7 out of 10. Modern Warfare 2's campaign was super fun, the visuals were fantastic, the acting was great, and the motion capture blew me away. The story was fun, but they did drop the ball with the ending and not having multiple outcomes, unfortunately. Multiplayer 6v6 is a complete mess. It is a shell of its past, with the new changes in skill-based matchmaking, but the ground war invasion mode were surprisingly fun and good alternatives if you're into large-scale battles. Warzone 2 could be really fun. It has a beautiful, well-designed map. It has a pretty cool gulag with 2v2. I understand that some people don't like this. I think they should have 1v1 and a 2v2 and just mix it in both ways somehow. But the big problem is that it's riddled with buggy mechanics, inconsistent gunfights, horrible audio design, but when everything does go right, and when you get on a roll with a high kill count and into the final circle, it's fun as hell. And lastly, DMZ is a lot of fun with friends. The mode is somewhat held back because of the element of needing friends, but overall DMZ gives you a lot of new things coming from a typical Call of Duty game. By having you squad up, tackling strongholds, fighting a juggernaut for blueprint cases, and so much more. The mode is like an open sandbox to do whatever you want in for about 30 minutes. So to me, DMZ is a positive addition to Call of Duty that hopefully evolves into much more than what it is released as. And that's my review. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button down below and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you guys on my next review. See ya! You keep a straight face.
I did for a woman.
Action.
And I bought all this cool gear. You done?